Wayne Reads is back to read more Lord Brocktree. Let's jump in. Chapter 3. It was an hour past dawn. The gale had passed, and the wind subsided. Mist from the seas cloaked the western shoreline. Stifferneck Middick, an old boxing hare, was just completing his daily exercises on the sand above the tide line. Though he was well on in seasons, Stiffener never neglected his daily routine. He had finished his dawn run, lifted stone and log weights, and was on the final part of duck and weave drill, throwing a final few combination jabs into the mist. He retrieved his champion's belt from the rock and began fastening it about his hard, muscled waist. Stiffener's scarred ears picked up an unfamiliar sound on the ebbing tide. Batting at his nose with a loose clenched paw, he jogged down the water. A narrow sailing boat, with its sail furled, was being rowed in by a dozen big rats. Their fur dyed dark blue. A cloaked figure stood at its prow as it cut through the sea mist. The hare stood his ground, ready for trouble. As the keel scraped on the sand, the craft nosed up onto the beach. Shipping their rows, the rats silently piled out and threw themselves prone onto the west sand. Without a glance at them, the gowned and cowled figure used them as a bridge to reach dry land without wetting its elegantly shod footpaws, treading careless upon their upturned backs. Stiffener nodded towards the newcomer aggressively. "Ahoy there, mate. Who are ye and what do you want here?" One of the rats arose and walked over to face Stiffener. He was a big, evil-looking creature, clad in armor under the tabard and broiled with a sickle hook insignia. The rat's voice was heavy in contempt as he addressed the boxing hare. "Koya! Creatures of the lower order are not allowed to speak to the Grand Fergoyle. Kneel before her and stay silent until I address ye further." Stiffener smiled dangerously at the armored rat. "I think you'd better kneel to me, Lady Buck. A lesson in good manners wouldn't go amiss in your case." A smart whack of the paw caused the rat to totter groggingly. Stiffener clubbed down his left footpaw on the rat's shoulder, forcing him into a kneeling position. Suddenly, the boxing hare found himself hemmed in on all sides by swords of the other rats. One of them looked towards the hooded figure, who made a few gestures with its shrouded paws. Then the rats turned back to Stiffener and smoke. No beast ever raises a paw to the chosen ones and live. You are fortunate that the Grand Fergal has spared your miserable life, for she wishes to deliver a message to your chief. He who runs the mountain, you will take us to him. Stiffener was not about to argue with the 12 blades. He nodded to the cloaked figure, speaking as he turned to go. "You best follow me, marm. I'll take you to Lord Stonepaw, though I doubt he'll offer you breakfast, if you're bound to keep acting all high and mighty." Stonepaw was back in his living quarters when Fleetscott ambled in without knocking as usual. Turning from the fog-brown view of his window, the old badger raised his hoary eyebrows at the absence of a trolley. "No breakfast today? Fletch overslept?" Gray-faced, the ancient servant bowed stiffly. "I think trouble we were talking about has finally arrived, my lord. Some beast to see you down at the shore entrance. You'd best get dressed for company." Wordlessly, Stonepaw allowed his retainer to select a flowing green robe from his closet. When the badger lord had shrugged out his nightgown, Fleetscott climbed into the chair and assisted his master to get the robe. I'll get your red belt to go with that, and maybe a war helmet and javelin." Stonepaw ignored Fleetscott's selection. "Bring my white cord girdle. No helmet. It keeps slipping over my eyes. There's no need of a javelin either." Picking up long ceremonial mace, the badger surveyed himself in a long copper mirror. "Great Stiffener, Bungworthy, Sailors, and Troby, they can accompany me." Now that dawnlight was clear, and the mist had begun to disperse, one or two of the old hares watching from the vantage windows in the mountain remarked on the curious appearance of the rats and their cloaked leader below, at the mountain's main entrance. "Snap my whiskers, they're blue! Must be something wrong with your eyes, old chap. Whoever heard of blue rats?" "I know, but look, their fur is a sort of darkish blue. Can't tell what the dickens color that one in the cloak is. Sinister looking brood, what?" Blanche the cook took a final look before going off to supervise breakfast with her kitchen helpers. "Pink, blue, or rainbow colored, that lot down there look like trouble. You mark my words." The heavy-robed figure of Grand Fergoyle stood immobile and mysterious, but the rat who had challenged Stiffer paced up and down impatiently. He was obviously some type of officer. After a lengthy while, Stonepaw and his ratoon, 4 hares, all carrying javelins, appeared. The spokesrat swaggered forward, toying arrogantly with his sword hilt. He looked Stonepaw up and down. "Are you the one in charge here? Speak." Stonepaw brushed past him as if he were not there, and pointed a gnarled paw at the cloaked one. "Who are you, and why do you trespass upon the western shores of armed soldiers?" Removing the cowl of her cloak, the hooded one revealed herself. She was a blue-furred ferret wearing a nose ring, from which hold a golden sickle hook amulet. Her voice caroled with a haughty tone of one used to being obeyed. "I am Grand Fergoyle, to Ungatt Trunn, ruler of Earth. You are one of the inferior species, but he has given me permission to deliver his message to you." Feeling his hackles begin to rise, the badger lord growled. "Inferior species, eh? Stand here talking like that to me, vermin, and you'll be crab meat before the mist lift fully. Aye, and your rats too. If you have something to say, then spit it out and be gone, while I'm still in a reasonable mood, so speak your piece now. Drawing a scroll from a robe, the ferret read aloud. Be it known to all creatures of lowly order, the days of Ungatt Trunn are here. All of these lands and seas that skirt them from here on are his property. You have until nightfall to vacate this place. You must take nothing with you, neither victuals nor weapons. You will also leave behind you any serving beasts who are of use. This is the will and law of Ungatt Trunn. He who holds the power to make the stars fall from the sky and the earth tremble, obey or die. Stifferneck medic raised his javelin. Just say the word, my lord, and we'll give him blood and vinegar. Us lower orders are pretty good at things like that, you know. Stonepaw touched Stifferner's javelin so that it pointed down to the sand. He heaved a sigh of resignation as he replied to the Grand for Oil. Deliver this message back to whatever lunatic scum you serve. Tell him that Lord Stonepaw of Salamandastron is accustomed to the blowings of windbags, as your master will find to his cost if he dares land here. Now get out of my sight and take those blue-painted idiots with you. Wordlessly, the ferret and her soldiers retreated to their boat and rowed off into the mist. Sailors, a garrulous old female warrior, twirled her lance nonchalantly. Nice little pollywop. Well, is that it? Shaking his grizzled old head, Stonepaw turned and stumped back to his beloved mountain. I wish it was, friend. I wish it was. Always remember to like and subscribe for more amazing readings.